Hey everybody, it's Hussein Kabani, your favorite broker. And as you probably have noticed in some of our videos, and hopefully you're noticing right now, I've got somebody else joining me on the set today. And this is Bakar.
Hello guys, Bakar here, and I'm back with Hussein for another podcast. Hopefully we'll tell you more about myself today. What do you think, Hussein?
So basically what we'll do in this video here is that there has been a lot of changes on how we actually are running the business, and in terms of people and even in terms of process. So I just want to kind of recap for everyone that's working with us, have worked with us, and will be working with us about a little bit about our company and what our operations look like. So it's not a one-man show. It's not just me that shows up at your place and then all of a sudden we have a listing on the market. It really doesn't work like that. In fact, we've been playing with a lot of systems and we realized that there's over 100 steps in order for us to get your house actually on the market. So from when we first meet to actually being sold, we have over 100 steps in that. But I'm going to get to that in a second. So as some of you guys have known, I've been trading real estate for almost 14 years. In September will be 14 years that I've been trading in real estate. And I started off and I didn't really know where this was going to go. I was transitioning out of corporate and it actually picked up a lot of steam. When it picked up a lot of steam, you kind of forget about all of the other stuff that needs to get done, because in this job or business of mine, I have to wear so many different hats, from sales to marketing to accounting to legal to HR to anything that you could possibly think of.
Accounting?
Accounting, yeah, that's a big one. That's all me. And actually, to the point of accounting, see, my business started running so quickly that I didn't even keep my taxes separate or anything, or file them, and I got into trouble with that with CRA after a couple of years of not filing.
Of course.
So then, these are all learning lessons that we've gone through. Fast forward, I think in 2016, I ended up being the #1 agent in Pickering in terms of volume sales. And it really did get me to a level of saying, hey, you know what, I'm at this level already. It happened so fast. I could do anything. And all I need to do is add more people to this whole thing. And so I did. I got a little office. I added a buyer agent, then I added another one, and I added an admin person or 2 admin people. And I just thought the more bodies I throw at this thing, the bigger and faster it's going to get there, and everything's going to be great. And I could just sit back as a CEO.
You had a team of what, four? Four
Yeah.
people?
So
okay.
We had basically 2 admin people and 2 buyer agents, if you want to call it. And it just did not work at all. So the reason my business got to where it was is because of the quality and the care that was added into the whole thing. And it was a process that I developed without developing. It just naturally came to me. And it was the process that we followed, I was doing, that people actually were attracted to. And then when I had these other agents come on, it just didn't work out that way. They were getting a different vibe, a different feeling. They weren't aligned with the same values that I had at the same time. So it just rubbed off the wrong way. Ultimately, long story short, I had to shut it down because I just realized that, hey, in all honesty, you could do all of these sales, but if your operation is weak and you're stressed out about it, and then at the end of the day, it is a business. So if your net income is doesn't make sense compared to where your top line is and where your bottom line is, if those numbers don't make sense, then what is the point of you going crazy and doing 60 transactions when you could do the same thing off of 20?
Yep.
Right. So that's where I had to kind of and this came through coaching. This is not all personal realizations, right? I ended up coaching with Tracy Arnett out of Ottawa, and she ran a pretty large brokerage out of there. I think it was a #3 brokerage in Ottawa. And I mean, that went up against Remax, Royal LePage, Century 21. Yep. She was a third largest brokerage in Ottawa at that time. And she basically looked at my business very quickly and she said, "You're an idiot." She said, "It makes 0 sense of why you do this kind of volume and your bottom line is over here." And then she started to evaluate everyone I had there. And she said, "You just got to shut this thing down. You did it all wrong."
Okay.
So I did. I took her advice on it, very scared, and I shut it all down.
And this was back in 2016,
so
2017?
This actually ended up to being in 2018, 2019.
So you had this thing running for about
2 years.
2-ish years?
Yeah, about 2 years.
And did you know from the get-go that, hey, this thing isn't working? Or did it take you some time to figure that out?
I thought it was okay, right?
Yeah.
I thought it was okay and whatever. And then an outside person comes in and puts perspective onto what you're doing and what your numbers look like. And actually, see, the good thing about Tracy was she actually just open book, literally, she basically looked at my numbers and said, "You're an idiot."
Yeah.
Actually said that, and then took a picture from her phone of her bookkeeping and her accounting and what it looks like and send it to me. And she's like, "Look at where my top line is and my bottom line, and look at the percentages and look at yours."
Yeah.
It's you don't make sense.
So you, at that point, took a step back, basically emptied out the closet,
Yeah.
clean slate.
Everything.
Yeah.
So it was not just people. It was about the expenses that we had.
Yeah.
I basically owned every single transit shelter on Kingston Road in Pickering.
Cut that marketing budget down.
I cut it all down. She actually made me a bet. She's like, I bet you won't see any difference in business if you take out all of these advertisements.
And was she
And I
right?
did, yeah.
Yeah, she was
And
right.
there was no difference. And in fact, people still tell me I see your signs everywhere. And I'm like, okay, interesting.
To be
Because they haven't been
fair,
there.
you still have a good amount of signs. Like I know you probably, for you, it's a big difference,
Yeah.
but in certain stretches of that Pickering, Taunton, Brock area, you're pretty out there. Right?
Yeah, instead of going wide net, we made it a little bit more narrowed into a specific area, which is something that she helped me with doing, right?
For
And
sure.
that's where it was actually working. Going through that transformation and then still knowing that, hey, like I need to do something else here. I want to grow something else here, right? It's not just about the money or whatever else. Like to have an interest in business and seeing how things work and how can you get them to work. So I think the next big game changer for me is when Ima actually joined the business. Because there was so much administrative stuff that I was like not keeping up with. Like even like all the communications that I have to have with my office, with all the paperwork and everything else like that, it just wasn't being done or not being done on time or properly, and it was delaying things. So when Ima came on board, it worked out really, really well. And to that note, I would say is I'm a very crappy trainer. Okay.
Yeah.
My idea of you figuring out an MLS listing is basically fill it out.
Yep.
Like that's my training too. Like there's blanks here, figure them out. I did. You should figure it out. Luckily, Ima took it out the right way, where she's like, okay, show me. So then she made her own notes and started like figuring it out herself. So the way that she's organized stuff is really good because like she has everything documented now and she has a process that she's following. So she took what I was doing, logged it all, and it actually made it better.
I'm still surprised because I mean I'm coming in now for it's been about a year almost, but I know there was a point where you were doing pretty high volume and you didn't have that, right? You didn't have IMA. And I've mentioned this to you before that it completely surprises me because I can't imagine how somebody does that type of volume and it doesn't have a team or doesn't have admin staff to kind
You
of
also
support.
don't have a life.
You don't have a life, and you're basically working sun up to sundown at that point.
So think about that, doing that, and then basically saying, okay, your top line looks so good and you look so cool in the industry, but when you take out all of your expenses and look at what you actually made, you're like, better get a job.
Better get a job.
Yeah, because then I don't have all this liability and I would end up making the same amount of money.
Yeah.
So it's either get a job or fix your business.
100%.
Yeah. So obviously, so like with Ima, that actually really helped fix up a lot of our processes, which leads us to you.
Yeah.
Right. Like there was no way that I could have added another agent to the business if we didn't have our process organized. Right.
100%.
So because our process is organized, it allows me the time to think. And it also allows me the time to say, hey, if I bring somebody else into the business, I'm not going to throw them in like my mentality was before. He's like, figure it out. I mean, especially like having you, and you can be honest, even though we're recording this, but like, it's not like you got thrown into the whole thing. I mean, you come in with 8 to 10 years worth of real estate experience, but you didn't get thrown into the thing. It's like everything we're really working through together.
For me, so I do have about around just under 10 years of experience in the business. So I'm not new to this. Like I know the business inside and out. I'm pretty confident in what I offer in the business and how I deal with my clients and how I perform. But with you coming in and working with you, you know, we've actually known each other for I think about 5 years now, and for 5 years you were working, I was working. We never really we had discussions about real estate and we did some unofficial work together here and there, but there was never really any big conversations about eventually working together. And then when we did decide, you know what, let's give this thing a shot, because you were again back to that point where you came full cycle from 2016, 2017, where you wanted to kind of try this thing again. But now this time you've already handled the admin side of it, because IMA's a machine in the background where you can now kind of focus more on the operation side and have another agent who can deal with a lot of the things that you frankly don't have time for, right? Yeah. So for me, it was also kind of, I mean, not kind of, it definitely made sense because, you know, I'm coming from Markham, right? And a lot of my network and my clients, they were coming out east. Everybody's coming to Pickering, Whitby, Ajax, Oshawa. You know, you have a pretty significant presence in Pickering, but also Durham region. So also the experience and kind of the way I'm learning from you, even the guys in this business, like I've been in this business for almost 10 years and you never stop learning. Like every single day we're learning new things. But that transition, I think so far has been pretty good. We've been kind of day by day figuring out our systems and adding more into the operations, and it's getting smoother and smoother, but it's going to be a long process.
And to your point, right? It's like always evolving. Like, I don't think we're ever going to get to the point. I don't think I will, especially because of my personality, I don't think I'll ever get to the point of saying, yeah, this is good now, let's leave it alone.
Yeah.
I'm always going to want to play with it and add to it, and do something. And I mean, just kind of like what you alluded to, like now that you are up and kind of running, and you're handling clients, and you need less of my attention, or I honestly just trust you a little bit more
Leave
to
me
be
alone.
out
You leave
there
me
in
alone.
the
Just
market, and you're doing your thing, and I know that things are happening. Over the past like month or two, I've been able to focus more on the systems, like things that I've been wanting to do, and I know that I need to do is like, we run off of Excel sheets on our processes. Well, now everything's nicely tied up into a Trello board, right?
yes.
And I jokingly say that we have a CRM, like Follow Up Boss, and I jokingly say that we subscribe to it
Yeah.
because we use it as a glorified database, right? And now we're actually getting scratching the surface of it, really, but
Yeah.
we're actually getting some utility out of this thing at this point right now. And the way that we're collaborating, we're actually being able to stay on top of our clients even more.
I think with this, like you nailed it, like a subscription service, right? We had it, we weren't really using it.
And it's expensive.
It's
Yeah, it's
expensive.
not cheap.
We were somewhat managing clients on it, but the possibilities with that system are endless. There's so much you can do, right? And we were still communicating basically everything through WhatsApp. But now, since we started implementing the system more and going stronger on it, we've been able to run everything through Follow Up Box.
Exactly.
So we don't have to communicate directly anymore. Everything is happening through the systems. I know it's made your life easier. It's made mine easier,
Even
definitely.
IMA, right?
Oh, definitely I'm up.
Yeah, yeah. But like, you see, the thing is that this is the evolution, right? And like we say, like, it's not going to stop. It's going to keep going, because when we get to another level, there's going to be something else that we can do, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, even like the parts that I even forgot to mention in this is like, and who's in the background right now, Chris.
Yep.
Chris has been a huge part of actually helping us. I basically call him our marketing manager because he runs the entire thing for us, right? And that's one less thing that we have to actually do. And even showing up sometimes, he's got a lot of the stuff prepared, right? So that's another asset that we have. And even our videographer, photographer, Dixit, right? Like, he's another asset that we have. And all these guys have been a long time. Like, I think Chris has been working with us 8 years now, 7 or 8 years.
And you
Yeah.
got the right guy, because how many marketing managers are running the real estate inventory numbers,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
true.
So
Yeah. Hey, but you see, that's the type of people that I want to work with, right? That are interested, right? You're not just doing it as a job, you're actually interested. I find that if you're interested, you're gonna look into it a little bit more. You're gonna be a little bit more educated, and you're gonna be able to add more value.
yeah,
It's the same thing I say about that home inspector Rob, right?
yeah,
From HomeCore.
yeah.
I've been using him for my first inspection ever. We use other home inspectors too, but I rely on Rob a lot. And the thing is that, see, I like him, and I tell people I like him because he's inquisitive, right? He looks at stuff, and then something doesn't work. Most home inspectors will write down, "Ah, it didn't work." This guy's like, "Why doesn't it work?"
Yeah, let me
Like, so
figure it
your
out.
2 hour home inspection turns into like 6 hours, and the homeowner's like, "Dude, I need to get back into my house." Like,
I've seen this firsthand, because we've been using Rob for most of our inspections for the past year, and I've had a lot of interaction with Rob, and quite frankly, a lot of 2 hour home inspections end up taking maybe 3 to 4 hours sometimes, and we love it because Rob is ready to answer any questions for the client. He makes them feel confident and comfortable, and at the end of the day, as agents, that's what we want. We want our client to know that, hey, we're all here to answer your questions and help you transition to the next step in a comfortable manner, and we have your back. Right?
exactly,
And
yeah.
Rob definitely has your
100%.
back. Yeah.
And so, like, in looking forward now, right? So the thing is that I feel like we have like a good process, a good team in place at the same time right now. So it's like, hey, looking forward, like, what's next? Like, what do we do next with this whole business thing, right? I think for my idea is that we're going to get stronger on systems. We're going to become more relying on our systems. We got one Trello board running right now. My idea is we're going to have a Trello board for everything, including like our new lead managements,
Yeah.
and new inquiries, and a bunch of different stuff I have ideas for, right? And I think this is going to take me months to implement, right?
Yeah.
So that's another thing, is what we're going to work on is systems. So one thing is through the Trello, and we're using Trello for operations and Follow Up Boss. You and I are going to have to get way further than scratching the surface on Follow Up Boss. And I'm leaning on you to say, hey, like, this is what I learned about it. This is what we're going to start to do. And in that sense, you're a leader too, right? Because you're going to be going through it and giving us ideas on how we use it. And I think beyond that, what we're going to be doing is that, in the future, maybe even next year, if we can figure out how to do it, I need to get Ima out of that position that she's in right now,
Yep.
and I need to backfill that role with somebody else. And I think the system implementation and process mapping is actually going to help us do something like that, right? Put somebody else in and give Ima the visibility to be able to see what's going on that side of the business while she takes a step back. And I can see Ima doing a couple of different things, right? She's working on getting her license right now, so she's going to be a licensed realtor probably next year at some point,
Yeah.
and she's going to be able to have more communication. She's going to be able to do different things, and I really see her being like she's already a huge part of our leasing and slash property management business, right? So I think she's going to be able to take that thing on her own at this point, right? Even right now, she needs my interaction, and I need to get involved because I'm the licensed guy.
Yep.
So she can only take it so far. But now I think what's going to end up happening is she is the expert out of both of us right now. She is the expert on the leasing side of it. I only have to get involved because I'm the licensed guy to sign on the dot, right, and give the advice and whatever else like that. But that's something next year that she's going to be able to do on her own.
I'm in a tricky position because we joke about it all the time, and I tell her, hey, Ima, you're more experienced than most agents out there, but Ima's stuck because she can only,
There's only so much she can say.
there's only so much she can say, and she's very good with knowing where her boundaries are. But who knows? Maybe there's something in the future where Ima will end up in a place where she's able to say more than she's allowed to.
I
Right?
think that's coming up,
Yeah.
and I think that's one of the major reasons of getting her licensed at the same time, right?
Yeah.
So I see this happening. I see backfilling her role, getting her out into doing something a little bit different, maybe spearheading more of the property management stuff that we want to get launched and stuff like that, and then also growing the team in terms of getting more sales people in, right? Like so. We get you to a point of where you're going to be able to take on an agent, right?
Yes. Correct.
And then work with that agent. So it slowly kind of gets me more into the zone of stuff that I want to do. I want to work closer with Chris and say, hey, how do we actually expose our listings more? How do we end up getting more quality clients? How do we do these kind of things, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of where our business is going, and I think our focus really is around obviously the client, and we're always trying to do something better, to implement something better, so the client has a better experience. I think through our processes, the way that we market our listings, the way that the pictures are taken, it's all value add for the client.
Everything is about the client, and I've really learned a lot since I've been with the team for the past year. The way things run, the way the client is protected, the way that we take care of the client. Like I've always been that. I've always been an agent who, as every agent should be, put the client first. But you guys definitely go above and beyond and make sure that you have the clients back. And a good example of that was recently a deal that we closed where we had a lawyer. The client, we had a buyer who purchased a home, and the lawyer actually told the buyer, and we got the feedback from the buyer that, hey, like, who are these agents that you're working with? We very rarely have we seen agents who are this on top of it. The due diligence, the way they're kind of have the paperwork together, everything has been so pristine that we're very
Yeah,
impressed.
with that deal, we were actually on top of the lawyer.
Yes,
Ima was.
we're usually on top of the
Yeah,
we're
but
usually on top of the lawyer. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, to a certain point, like
Yeah.
when we work with someone like Jason Vanuler, like
Yeah.
they're on a different league on their own, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they're very good, very organized. So maybe we're on par with them in terms of like
But
having that. But like other lawyers,
yeah.
like we're actually telling them, okay, well we got to get this. You didn't look at this in the agreement. Remember,
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
in that agreement, there were certain holdbacks that we had, and we had to constantly remind this lawyer, say, hey, dude, like, is this on the statement of adjustments? Did you make sure you got this?
You know what, though? I think it's also that it's not, of course, the lawyers are the lawyers, but I think it's a lot of agents. I think I'm talking more about communication.
Yeah.
I think a lot of agents are scared to talk to their representative's lawyer, or sorry, their client's lawyer, because they don't want to hear bad news, or they don't want to bring up something that they don't that can kind of mess up the deal. We don't care.
No, we're in there.
We're okay with killing a deal if it's protecting the client, because who's gonna benefit at the end of the day? The client. They're gonna be happy that, hey, you guys went out of your way, you guys were willing to sacrifice this whole thing because you saw something that might have hurt me in the future, and not many agents would do that, in my honest opinion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's cool. Any last feedbacks about working with us, the group, where you see things going on your
I
side?
mean, I think we're on the same page. Like you're talking about eventually in the future growth and more agents and admin and whatever the case is. I'm thinking about that in the long term, but right now, like I feel like there's so much we can do to just clean up and get to that point and be ready for it, because that's, like you said, that's the main thing. Once you get there, you want to make sure we're ready for it.
Yeah.
So for me right now, just like you, it's about cleaning up the systems, making sure they're foolproof, and just just having everything ready A to Z, so we're not thinking. That's
Yeah.
the goal. I think once we, like you said, when a listing starts, we're not thinking. We have the 88 or 100 steps, the things we need to do to get that listing ready. So let's go, let's do it.
Yeah.
So once we have that all down packed, we move on and expand from there. So, and I think we'll do it.
Yeah. I think it's happening because we have a stronger focus on getting these things up and running now. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, that's maybe a longer video than I expected to talk about the Kabani Group. This is 14 years of real estate experience in 20 minutes, so I guess it's not that long. But yeah, I hope you guys got a little bit more of an insight of what we actually do on our side when you're working with us as a client. And then if you guys have any questions about what we do and how we do it, would love to hear that feedback from you guys. And then even if you guys have suggestions of things that you guys have seen or what you guys would like to see us, implement, or even things that you would like to see changed in the real estate industry. Like I'm a huge follower of what's happening in the real estate market, and not in just terms of the market itself, but the way that the business handles the transaction. Like, I mean, there's a lot of wild things that are happening out of the U.S. right now at the same time, and I think if we've got into a conversation, you will know that I think a lot of the things that are happening in the U.S. right now are going to get implemented in Canada. Without a doubt, they're going to get implemented. So there's a lot of changes that are coming up in our pipeline, I think, over the next 5 years.
Yeah.
And I think this is where we're getting more focused and saying, okay, where do we see the transactional business? How does a transaction look in the next 5 years? And how do we, set ourselves up that we can actually be the top at doing those transactions?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Any questions, concerns, any suggestions, please reach out to myself or Bakar.
Yep.
And we'll be happy to chat with you guys. Until next time, remember one thing, get Kabani.
Get sold.
Sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it, sold. Sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it, sold. Sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it, sold. Sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it, sold.